Welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth Ney, and every episode I bring a comic on from coast to coast. We're going to be on Sareth Fest this year. And without further ado, it's my dear friend, Mr. Erlacher. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Sareth. How about yourself, buddy? Thanks for having me on.
Ah,
Appreciate it.
you're welcome, dude. I appreciate you for being my guest. And
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll deep dive into your comedy journey. And so I remember seeing you used to perform stand up like at the open mic, and now you just blossomed. So take
Yeah.
me on a journey of
Appreciate
your
it.
stand up comedy journey.
Yeah, man. Just kind of shoot. A couple years ago now, started hitting the open mics. It actually started one night. My wife was out of town, and the local bar by me had a comedy show. So I went up there and hung out and had a beer. My friends were going to meet me up there, but they never came. So I just hung out watching the comedy show, and there were some comedians on there. I was like, dude, I could do this. You know what I mean? That old expression that bad comedians make people become comedians, you know? So I was like, I can do this. And then one day my wife found an open mic. It was at Pineapples, and Jimmy Moynihan was running it. So I went in there, and he's like, yeah, man, come back next week and, I'll get you on. So I came back like 2 weeks later, walked in the front door, and saw Jimmy. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm here. And he's like, yeah, we're not an open mic anymore. So it was the first week that he switched to a showcase, And I was like, shoot, man. He's like, but look, I'll put you up. I'm like, cool, I got 10 minutes. He goes, yeah, no, dude, you get 5. And I was like, what? I'm not doing, I was bummed out and went downstairs, and all my friends are starting to show up. And so I had to go up and eat crow, and was like, hey, Jimmy, can I get that 5 minutes you offered? But I was so new, I didn't know that, that comedy's like sex. You're literally trying to get good at 5 minute increments, hoping to one day build up to an hour, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Absolutely. If Jimmy taught me a lot about my comedy journey, and I'm glad he's doing well out in Austin. So, yeah,
yeah, man. I briefly messaged with him the other day, but I know he's staying busy out there for sure.
big
But yeah,
time.
Jimmy opened the door. So Jimmy had the Moon Room showcase, and he was kind enough to let me on that. And then he also had the Beachside Retro open mic. So, kind of back then it was like 1-2 mics a week. And then, like everything, you start networking, and now you're hitting 3-4 open mics a week. And for us, for me at the time, Moon Room was my place that I tried to get better for. So I'd hit open mics and try to be good at Moon Room on Tuesdays. And then, yeah, just kind of went from there. You start getting invited to some showcases, and yeah, you know the role. But yeah, man, I still love open mics. I know some comics don't like it. They think it's a waste of time. Or you even hear like even some of the big comics say good jokes die on shitty mics. And I believe it. But man, there's just something. Maybe it's my ADD, man. I just love playing with new material. You know, Sometimes more than I like doing a run of paid shows.
Dude,
Where I'm doing my main material.
for real. And that's what like Sam Talent does. Is like he just if he's not doesn't have a name in that market, he'll just go
Uh huh.
out to their open mics in that town and just like start doing open mics until people know who he is. It's pretty. That's how I do it. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, like I'll go
Yeah.
to Chicago if nobody knows me or nobody likes my set that I sent them. I'll just hit up the
Yeah.
open mics and just network and have fun.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's the like it is like for me like whenever first time at an open mic, like if it's out of town or something, like you I always want to do my best 5 to to say, hey, look, man, this is what I got. But like open mics where you're comfortable and everybody like the cheers is of open mic, like Beachside Retro or places like that. I love going in and airing new premises.
Big time. And speaking of Beachside Retro and Moon Room at Pineapples, I love those rooms. Whether it's an open mic showcase, whatever. It's like, and then
Mm-hmm.
but before Jimmy left, he gave them to you for. So, um, uh, tell me some stories about Moon Room and Beachside Retro that you love.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm really enjoying. So I was lucky enough. I say lucky enough in a weird way to get Moon Room. Basically, Jimmy trusted me with it. Um, and I've been able to take what he developed and grow it from there. Like last night, they had over 70 people in attendance. So I've got it to where now on a Tuesday night it's an unpaid showcase, but a slow night is 50 people. And shoot, we have nights where it's 70 to 90 people in attendance. So the benefit is the comics that are really working hard, they love being there because they can test their newer or B material or workout material in front of a solid crowd and get good feedback, for their paid shows. So, I mean, I think it's one of the best unpaid shows from the aspect of you're getting, you have a legit crowd, and you've done Moon Room a bunch of times. Like sometimes the crowd can be hard because they are an unpaid crowd and they don't know some of the decorum, but you get nights where it's just fire, and we're getting so many repeat regulars that our down nights are more, as far as like energy wise, are fewer and far between with the crowd. Like they're now dialed in on how it should be, so
It's pretty awesome that you play like the rules at the top, and before everything happens, like everyone knows the rules to behave like accordingly, and then like you collect donations and you still pay out like the some of the comedians and how far they drove and all
yeah
that
that
stuff, and that's awesome.
so so Moon Room throws me a couple bucks, but I put a large portion of that into ads, and I think that's why the comics are cool. Like they know that I'm doing the work to make sure that they've got an audience. And for me, I treat it's a tricycle, and the way I look at that is I have to have all three tires inflated. The bar is tire one. Like if I keep the bartenders in the bar happy, they're stoked. And the way to keep them happy is tire two, by having a crowd. And the way to keep the crowd happy is by having a good show, and that's the third tire. So if there's a crowd, the comics are happy. If the comics are good, the crowd's happy. If the crowd's happy, the bar's happy. And so I try to keep all three of those inflated, and any issues to a minimum. And I'm ADD very bad, but I compensate through OCD. So if anything's I can control to a degree or make better or eliminate chaos or confusion on the comics parts coming out, I try to do that, and then you see it, like it's a vibe there now. Like we have comics that just come and hang. Like it's such a, we have literally, like, I don't want to use the term groupies, but we got people in the scene that aren't even comics that just, they come and they just love the energy and the vibe. And it's such a scene now. It's created this periphery scene, it's really neat to see, from a, I don't know, a psychological above ground aspect, it all unfolding. And yeah, man, I love it. And I'm glad that I'm able to do it. And then I was trusted to take the ball and run with it.
Absolutely. And it's a beautiful scene there too. Like, Brevard is just pretty awesome. Like when we saw like when the Tony Cats, including myself, we saw like how much Brevard was blowing up with like different rooms and mics and shows. We're like, we got to get like that. And so like when we battled Melbourne at the verses, we're like at a fire in our butts. We're like, we got to pop up some more rooms than what we have.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which is cool. I didn't know that was the catalyst, but you're right. Yeah, I see you guys opening and got more rooms running there now, which is cool, And it's, the Brevard scene's really neat. Like, there's some people I've heard some expressions on some old school philosophies and theories, but I would say the large portion of us, like myself, Brian Milligan, Matt Glidden, and we all try to be pretty positive. And then we got kind of what I would consider the tribal elders in our scene, the OG guys. Like you got Chris Robinson, who's a headliner, and he's a bro, and he's above us, but he's still in the mix because he's connected to a lot of us, and we get advice from him. And then you got like Caitlin Meek out here who runs the Brevard comedy, and she came out, like, she existed before the COVID scene, and then Brevard Comedy, which is the name of her company, they disappeared kind of during the COVID and post COVID, but they've reemerged. But what's cool is she has multiple shows, of which each one has a headliner. And now our scene's kind of so cohesive that she'll come out the Moon Room and look at people. And I'll even message her and be like, "Hey, so and so's out this week. He's somebody you may really want to consider as a feature spot." And so now it's really neat. We're seeing Caitlin with Brevard Comedy book a lot of local guys opening for touring headliners. So it's a really cool. I feel like there's a linear progression out here with our scene, and we work hard to police ourselves. I you hear like the New York scene or other scenes that I'm not privy to of where there's more gatekeeping and paying dues. Is we're probably overly nice to people. We've all had our hearts broken where we treat people well and they leave the scene or they're not real or tensions are bad. But we try to be positive and just keep it that way. And it's comedy, man. It's fucking fun. It's supposed to be fun. Let's have fun.
Absolutely. Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm glad everything's like, coming together. It's like Bavar deserves it. It's just a beautiful scene and
Stupid thing. Oh, I lost you. Sorry about that. You
all
still there?
good, dude. Yep, still here. Um, yep. And yeah, I'm glad like, Brevard Comedy's back and then it's just
Did I
like,
lose you, sir?
oh no, I still got you. Can you hear me okay? I think technical difficulties on Eric's end, but we'll be
Did I
just fine.
lose you?
Uh-uh.
Oh, baloney.
Sounds good.
Sareth,
Yep.
you there?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh,
Check.
Sareth.
Oh, and I just sent you a chat, so Eric's information's in the description box below, and so yep, anything you can follow him, subscribe, all that good stuff. And Eric's stuck under a palm tree. He just got done surfing, and it's pretty gnarly. He's stuck. Oh my goodness, it's all right. But while he's stuck, I'd like to thank K Nails and Spa, Quan's Kitchen. Hey, here he is.
Hey, my man.
Hey, how are you, pal?
Good, buddy. Sorry about all that drama.
All good, dude. I just talked to the audience a little bit, so just to keep it no dead air. So
Yeah.
yeah, and so let's see here. So Pelicans Productions. How'd you come up with the name? Who's on the team? All that good stuff.
I wouldn't say that necessarily we have a team per se. Um, I own a fishing apparel company called Weedline Fishing Apparel, and one of my favorite designs is this pelican, and he's cool. And pelicans are always just dirty and hanging out. So
Yeah,
that just kind of was a progression on that. Something that was fitting to Brevard County being a coastal region and something hanging out that's kind of cool.
indeed. And I still wear we support the weed line from Daytona to even David Jolly rocks the weed line hat. Your brand is everywhere. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a labor of love, that's for sure. Not necessarily a lucrative one, but it's who knows, man, maybe one day. But it's yeah, it's fun, man. It started as something fun, and it's kind of it stays that way. And when I first started Weed Line, we used to have a lot of goofy sayings like "We fish for you, vacation," or "We have an Olaf fishes." So I was always just making it kind of funny. It was not brutally serious as a brand. So it's actually kind of neat to see it. The comedians enjoy it,
Yeah,
and like rocking it, and everybody loves a weed line,
yeah,
whether you're a comedian or an offshore fisherman.
and like the motorboating one that I have, I think with
Yeah.
yeah, good times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I try to keep it fun. Like
Oh yeah,
anybody can buy a picture with a t-shirt with a fish on it, but let's make just try to be different.
yeah, and it's working for you, so it's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And so with that being said, these are the next set of questions I ask all the comics
Mhm.
from from all the interviews that I've done. There's like 1,000 of them, I think. So with that being said, Eric, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
I said, it was something I always wanted to do. So much so, like, I mean, man, years ago I'd be writing down just jokes, and to this day I guarantee I could pull up a file from like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, just things I thought would be funny I might want to use one day, you know. But yeah, it was something I always wanted to do. You know, I grew up, I watched a lot of comedy growing up, and I'm old, but like I remember my dad would come home like a VHS tape or DVD of Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, hell, even Gallagher, you know, and just so I've always seemed to me like it was a kind of a bonding thing. Like I remember on holidays being at my uncle's house with my dad, watching Gallagher stand up, just laughing. Believe it or not, some people are like, "What, Gallagher's a fucking watermelon smashing dude," but he was funny at one time, and before he kind of went a little crazy. I think he went deep down the political stuff, but you know, but early Gallagher was pretty funny, man. He actually had bits, but yeah, man. So that was kind of that, and maybe the firehouse table. Being a fireman at the coffee table. Um, my favorite firemen were always the guys that would talk the most shit. You know, and I always felt like the guys that kind of talked the most shit had unique perspectives and were pretty funny, and ironically were some of the best firemen. Because they just possessed that wit. But yeah, I don't know, man. And then I ended up moving to a slower fire station. Like I went from a fire station with 12 guys to a station with like four, and they're all kind of seasoned, so they don't talk much. And my wife swears it was me being at a slow fire station with no one to talk shit to. It was the catalyst for me needing a microphone to talk shit into.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah,
And what was it feeling like when you first performed stand up?
it was awesome, man. It was stand up. I know some people say it's wrong, like you should have a plan on what you're doing and where you're going. Um, but being a little older, like I've had lots of plans on life, and I've gone largely where I anticipated I was going. But comedy might be one of the only things where I am legitimately putting in the work and continually trying to move forward. But it's one of the things that's taken me places I didn't anticipate would be taking me. And going back to that first mic or first time at Moon Room, like I didn't anticipate that a year in I'd be hitting Moon Room on Tuesdays and in 3 open mics a week. And then I didn't anticipate showcases, and then eventually getting past Moon Room and Beachside Retro. Like things are just falling in place. I didn't anticipate they would fall in place, but and I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm just gonna keep pushing forward and trying to do the right things and make the right decisions. Keep writing. Um, yeah, I forgot what the original question was, but yeah, it's yeah, I guess that's it. That's the feeling is I can't believe where it's taken me, and I'm enjoying the ride, and I just want to keep this forward momentum.
Hell yeah, dude. Trust the process.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like how it is, man. Like there's been times where like I ride a lot, and then there's also been times like where you feel like the universe gifts you a joke, like out of nowhere. You're like, damn, that was one of my best bits, and it just came to me.
Yeah.
I didn't. It just happens. But and I think that's part of trust the process. Like I'm getting more comfortable with that. Like, all right, you've written a lot this week, but just trust the process. Yeah.
Big time. Yep, I feel you on that one. It's like you never know what's taking you. So, I mean, like my whole comedy journey was all out of order. It's like first I did an open mic, and then second was my festival. Then after that, my first showcase happened, which happened to be my roast, and so everything was all out of order. But then everything's like settling into place now, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah. That is awesome, man. God, you've been on fire lately too, man. You crack me the hell up. I think last time you were out of Moon Room, you just crushed. You just
uh,
freaking like you were on fire, man. Then I heard you
thanks.
crush too with the whole Volusia, the comic contest they had with Volusia and Brevard, and they said you were just literally bam, 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 the tight five, man, just crushing.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it was. I put those last two Moon Room sets on my. I put them out as like on holiday things or like special events on months, and so I release
Hmm.
something once a month, and so both of them are out there. It's pretty dope, and Yeah, like,
Yeah.
cause like I got like the reason why I got so heated during that versus battle was because like Chris was talking crap about us and like
Uh,
on his
yeah.
podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna show these guys. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
I was so angry, and so I went up there and just unleashed. So,
Dude, Chris loves he loves competition, man. He loves it. I've noticed just from getting to know him and listening to his podcast and talking with him. For him, it's all fun. Like
yeah,
the smack. He loves the basketball smack talk angle, and he loves using it is to motivate others and himself. Which is cool. I'm a sensitive bitch, so I try not to do that.
yeah,
Like I did a roast with Brian Milligan like a year in, and I think for like a week straight I was calling him. I'm like, you didn't really mean my mom was fat, did you?
yeah.
Fucking just sensitive, bro.
Indeed, Chris Robinson's like the Conor McGregor of the Florida scene. So
Oh yeah, yeah, and he kills, so it's like you gotta let him, bro. You gotta let him.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
big time. Awesome. And so let's see here. We mentioned like Gallagher and so forth, and Eddie Murphy and Pryor and stuff earlier. And like, what are some of your favorite comedy records, comedy albums, and comedy podcasts?
Oh man, I tell you, podcast wise, I listen to Theo Vaughn. Just I'm not necessarily a fan of Theo's stand up, but just his Theoisms, his just general talk, like that's organically a dude that says wild, crazy, funny shit. And, that's funny to me. I'd say Doug Stanhope's one of my favorites. No refunds. Early Doug Stanhope. I love Doug's ability to connect dots that you didn't see. You know what I mean? Just linear pathway. You're like, oh my God, I did not see that connection unfolding like that, Um, so Doug Stanhope's, I've cited many times as one of my favorites. Now into comedy, I would have to say Daniel Tosh's People Pleaser. That album to me, it's an hour of a tight five. And then just the whole thing is just set up, anticipation, punch, tag, 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 and then his ability to uh, in one joke frame it left and then reframe it right and equally offend both sides. Kind of like Bill Burr's got that ability. And I love that. And I like to do it with my political jokes. If I if my setup is left, I like to punch right and vice versa. Um, I enjoy crowds that appreciate that, but I've also pissed off liberals and Democrats with the same joke. You know what I mean? Uh, I've upset both sides at one time before. Um, yeah, I'd say early Cat Williams, man. Obviously Pimp Chronicles and American Hustle, like those once again, that was another 35, 45 minutes of a tight five. Just literally awesome. Yeah, I'd say those have to be some of my favorites right there. And
Heck yeah.
obviously Chappelle. I love Chappelle. Who doesn't? I think he's transcended comedy along the lines of George Carlin, where now we appreciate him even as uh, a social commentator. We enjoy his perspectives, and I think we've only ever really seen one person transcend comedy to that degree, and that would be George Carlin. So yeah, I love that. But for me, as much as I love Carlin and Chappelle, it's kind of not in my practice right now because I don't have an hour to do. I have an hour of material, but I don't have the format where anyone's going to give me an hour to do long bit material. You know what I mean? And those guys have earned that right, and they've earned an audience that will listen to a 5-minute bit for a huge payoff punchline. So
Big time, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What's some of your favorites?
Oh man, for comedy specials,
Hmm?
like Joe Coy is like one of my favorites. I
Okay.
can. I mean, of course, it helped after before and after what he did for me at the Florida Theater. I'm not sure if you ever saw that video, but
Huh.
oh, it's he just gives me like I met him upstage like in backstage at the Florida Theater, and I told him how much it meant to us Asian comics because there are not a lot of us, and like how much I appreciated him and everything. And then
Yeah.
what he did was he grabbed my phone. He goes, "What's your next big event that you want me to plug?" And he had it on my shirt was Sareth Fest. and then he plugs Sareth Fest, he plugs me, and then it was nuts. So it's like only 13 seconds, the original
Yeah.
video, but I'll send it your way. And I'm like, it helped me get into so
Yeah.
many festivals, and like it
That's
happened in
awesome.
2019, and like I was like, if the pandemic didn't hit, I'd probably be like huge, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it like don't totally ruin my momentum, but that will always be like my opening video on my YouTube channel. It's like, and people
That's
are like, oh,
awesome.
yeah. So he helped
Yeah.
open a lot of doors. But Chappelle's one of my favorites. Fluffy's one of my favorites. It's just Martin Lawrence, John Leguizamo's one man shows. They were just awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course,
Man,
Pryor and Dolomite and stuff. That's
yeah, man. Dude, I remember back in my early 20s, I would watch Pryor and just, I'd rent fucking the videos all the time and watch Pryor. And I loved Pryor. And to me, I could see so much of the influence. Like, um, I feel like early Red Fox was a big influence on Richard Pryor. You know what I mean? Having watched some Red Fox, I'm like, okay, that had to have been one of his big influences. And then when we saw Eddie Murphy Raw, like you couldn't mistake, like if you knew Pryor and you watched a lot of Pryor, like it was undeniable that Pryor was a huge influence on Murphy. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just, to me, it's just really neat to see that in those guys at that level. You know, a level. Fuck, man. Yeah, I don't know. Hell, even new levels. You got Shane Gillis. I just watched Dusty Slay's uh, thing the other day on Netflix. Like, that's freaking phenomenal. Like, just so quick witted, and the bits are well structured. Yeah, I just love that stuff, man.
hell yeah, dude. And I got to give a shout out to Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and Dolomite too, because I feel like if when I saw them in my earlier before I ever did stand up, those were the three
Mhm.
that totally molded me to be like a dirty comic without any curse words. Well, like they curse, but I'm like just to be dirty and raw and unfiltered is those
Yeah,
three that were my main influences.
yeah, man. Yeah, God, dude, there's so many tools in the toolbox, and what's neat for us, like at this level, like if you do a show in Orlando or like I'm doing Daytona tonight, it's a crowd that doesn't know me, and you're learning to win them over and what works, But also too, wish I had my crowd that appreciated my perspectives and my angles, which is bad because you get these comedians that lean in, they end up living in an echo chamber. But I don't know, man. Like I think we all want that. We want people to appreciate our angles and our takes on things. But it's the come up, and it's the art of learning to appease others and win other people over that makes you good. Like,
For sure.
dude, I mean, for example, like Bill Burr's fucking Philadelphia rant. Like that, I tell people all the time, I'm like, if you think a room's hard, treat yourself to watching Bill Burr's rant in Philadelphia. I mean, that is literally like digging in 101 and fucking just holding the course.
Big time. And
Yeah.
Jacksonville, what Cat Williams Jacksonville thing, he just went off on it. It's
His
so
recent
true.
one was the recent one on Netflix.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
cool. Like
yeah.
I had such an interesting run-in with him when I lived out in Los Angeles too. It was wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I went to the Redman, Method Man, and Ghostface Killer show. They had
Uh-huh.
like two shows, like the early show and the late show. And I bought so much merch from Method Man, Redman's people that they said, "Here's a VIP bracelet. Stay for the second show." And I'm like, "All right, I'll stay for the second show." And I went up to the balcony because I was like done being in the front row, and then Cat Williams just walks up out of nowhere, and he starts throwing money off the balcony and starts dancing to Method Man Redman's music, and he passes me a glass of Dom Perignon, and I'm like, I don't even drink,
Oh
dude,
my god,
so it was so wild.
brother! Like that would you would have had to. I would have to take a complimentary sip. Like, you know what I mean? To me, that's almost like Black Jesus passing you some fucking wine and I don't know what's that fucking croissant thing. What the hell's that thing? The Catholics eat? I don't know. I'm not religious.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? The
I
fucking
think,
a piece of
yeah,
bread they eat or communion or whatever. I don't know. Like you'd have to. To me, I'd have like, oh shit, I'd have to drink from it.
it's like Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg offering you some weed or something.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like, hey, I can't.
Yeah,
I don't smoke, but shit, give me that thing.
yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
good stuff. But yeah, it was a wild time back in 2009. So
Yeah,
good
that's
stuff.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
let's see, what's if you can go on tour with any local and internationally known comics, which comics would you like to go on tour with?
Is it one local and one internationally known?
Hmm.
I'd probably say Doug Stanhope. I mean, because he does smaller stuff. I mean, he's not big things. I think his crowd would appreciate me. You know, yeah, I think his crowd would appreciate my perspective just because I'm probably a Stanhope fan and twisted, and so I appreciate that style. Yeah, and then my guys I ride with is at my level that I ride with is Brian Milligan and Matt Glidden. We do a lot of stuff together. But dude, there's so many of y'all in our scene that I fucking love, man. C. Diller, you, Preston, like shit, you name it. Like everybody that's at Moon Room, any one of them, man, bring them. Joe Sensabella, freaking Amir, you know what I mean? Freaking Austin Kleeman, you name it. I love them guys, dude. Freaking, I don't even like naming names because I know I'm missing people that I just fucking adore, dude. Like Donald Evans, that motherfucker is a nut, dude. I love Donald. I love watching him just fucking nuke a room, dude.
Yeah,
Like I think I don't even know if Donald likes me, dude, but that dude cracks me up, man. I appreciate his wit and his fucking quickness. Sean Madden, dude. God damn. Yeah, dude. There's so many great guys. I had to fucking bring 30 people on tour, dude. I'm such a fan of our people. You know what I mean? Hell, fucking
yeah,
Roy Shepard cracks me, dude. Fucking you Daytona guys crack, dude. Goddamn, Sean Patrick Murphy, dude. Rob Rhodes. Like I can't name names. They're all great, dude. I love every one of them, man. Eugene Singleton, Chris Robinson. They all kill. If I forgot your
absolutely.
name, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm honored to
Yeah.
be named in that
Hell
group,
yeah.
and
You
yeah,
kill me,
dude.
bro.
And
Kill
I
me.
just we love you for like putting us on, and and that's why I don't have like much stuff to like produce or nothing. So when I do
Mm-hmm.
produce, I go big and bring everyone
Yeah.
on board. So like,
Hell yeah. Appreciate you,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so
You spread the love too, man. You get it.
yeah,
Have fun. Let's do this. It's a good time, man.
yeah,
Let's
make
do
the
it.
world laugh.
Yeah,
And
because it's hard, man. It's fucking life's hard, dude. No one wants to fucking pay $10. Like people are coming out to laugh. They want to be entertained. Let's have a good time, man. They're there to see us, and we're there to have fun.
big
All the other
time.
bullshit's at home. Life sucks. It's hard. But
Yeah,
tonight we got 2 hours to have fun and forget about some bullshit. All of us, fans and the comedians.
absolutely, one hundred
Yeah.
percent. And if you can get roasted by five comedians, top five dead or alive, which comedians would you like to get roasted by?
I'm a sensitive bitch. I don't probably none of them. I say that with all sincerity, man. I'd fucking break my heart. I did meet Doug Stanhope and hang out with him and have a beer. It was actually a pretty cool story. But like that, if that guy not like I'm scared of those guys. Like I don't know, man. They say never meet your idols. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think I want any of them to roast me because I'm sensitive and it would hurt and the fucking you know. But yeah, it was funny, man. So I was at Doug Stanhope was playing at a little bar in Orlando, right off Church Street, downtown Orlando, and my lieutenant at the fire department at the time, he's old school, man. He's a big musician dude and knows a lot of famous musicians, friends with him. But he always used to have this mantra: always come bearing gifts. You know, so put it this way, he ended up becoming like good friends with like Neil Young and these other bands simply through fire department t-shirts. Like he would meet the guys in the sound running the sound booth and hook them up, and then next year they're like, oh, they remember him, and they're he's just Andy's a cool cat. Like he's a guy you want to hang with. But so he convinced me to bring some fire department t-shirts to Doug Stanhope. I see him in the back of the room with his longtime girlfriend Bingo, and I walk up and I was like, hey, Doug Stanhope, big fan, dude. I'm a local fireman. Here's some FD t-shirts, man. Appreciate you. And I walked off. I didn't want to bother him during his time. You know what I mean? Not that guy. And he goes up. He starts the set. He walks up with the fire department t-shirt on from my fire station. And he goes, hey, everybody, a local fireman just gave me this shirt. Hats off to these guys. He's like, you know what? These guys are just glorified adrenaline junkies. And he just starts ripping firemen. he's like, Solingberger. And it was literally like right around that time that Solingberger landed in the Hudson. And he's like, Solingberger didn't land in the fucking Hudson and start printing his own merch. Only firemen do that. They're like, and he just slighting, just going in on it. So much so that Bingo, his girlfriend, came and sat with me, my wife, and my friends. And she's like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah, dude, this is my favorite comedian. And I should have known better than to give him something to open on locally. But, dude, yeah, fucking, it was awesome. And then after the show, he's like, bro, you're cool. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, you're fucking my comedic hero. He's like, oh, I had some fucking firemen up north wanted to kill me one night after a show. I'm like, well, fuck them, dude. They're being bitches. You're a comedian, dude. You just did what you should do. So.
Indeed. Oh man, we have a Daytona Doug Stanhope story too, and like Peter O'Keefe brought him over to like a hotel show, and after the show, they're like, "Oh yeah, there's another comedy event happening," and so it was like Doug and the Unbuckables showed up out of nowhere, yeah, like and they just showed up on, can we do some time? And I'm like, sure, you can do some time, and so like it wasn't my room at the time, and so it's still not my room, but I think Zach just threw him up there, Zach Bennett. And they did they crushed for free for like like a while, and all three of them went up together. And I took a really cool photo of them, and I'll send you the photo of the Unbuckables with Doug Stanhope. All three of them. And
well, that was like 2000. That was like 18, 19-ish.
I think so.
Yeah, I saw him on that tour. It was like Junior Kopfka or whatever was his opener. Like they called themselves the Unbookables.
Yeah,
that's killer, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think I was at where you at the show where they he used him as Bill Burr as a puppet as I think I don't know, it was like I know it was like one of the Unbuckables both went on stage, and one was like a ventriloquist, and Sean was the guy. He was the Bill Burr's puppet, and it was just like the best set ever.
That's funny. Oh my god, that's funny, dude.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah,
good
shit.
And,
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, good times. I'm glad we both have Doug Stanhope stories. And if where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
I don't know, man. I'm getting old, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my the pro of me being older is that I got a little more head on my shoulders. Probably less prone to some drama. The downside is I'm fucking old. My shelf life is definitely not as long as some of these young guys that are killing. So I don't know, man. My other problem is like I'm bad at networking. Like I like hanging out. I mean, I'll hang out. You know me, bro. But you never see me chasing or riding coattails or trying to leverage things. And I know that's the business side is our local Duncan J would say, that's the business side of show business. And I'm not good at that. I've always kind of been more meritocracy based where, hey man, I want you to like me personally or comedically and let that be my door opener. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I could probably be better at the networking and leveraging, but I'm not. I'm getting older and yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just going to keep staying the course and keep moving forward, keep writing, keep working hard, keep doing well. And to me, man, that's the other kind of cool part of this is we're seeing a lot of guys from our scene move up. And some people's natural inclination is to be jealous by that. But to me, these are all greater opportunities for everyone. Like, as your boy, not everyone's going to reach down and lift you up, but there enough people that get up, they're going to reach down and bring people up with them, So I firmly believe in that. I know I would and will if I ever got to that point. Who knows? But I don't know, man. We got enough good people in the scene and enough positivity and enough people working hard that I think good things will happen if you just stay the course. I could be wrong and miserable in 10 years. More miserable. Miserable. Fuck, we're comedians. This is my happy face as a comic. I'm going to go in there and cry and fucking hate myself in a minute. But but we're comedians. That's what we do.
I feel you on that one, dude. And that's like when I did my my stint in LA. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do what my I was the apprentice to. Like he just grabbed my hand and like lifted me up, and that's what I do with the fest. I'm like, I don't care if you run shows or not. If you're out here killing and I like see you hitting the road and Yeah, like I'll sprinkle in a few bookers, but I'll just like
Yeah.
bring everyone with me. And
Yeah.
we would and you know John Kaplan did like the Florida's Funniest, and
Uh-huh.
he just got done doing a set. We were all in the bar area at the Improv or the Funny Bone, and he was so shy to meet all the comics. And I'm like, I get it. He was
Hmm.
just like you. You just he was like, I don't want to network. I'm too shy. And
Yeah.
so what I do is like I'm like since I know everyone, I'll be like, I'll be the one to introduce you. Like, I already know
Yeah.
these comics. And so he met like Ken Miller and Miguel
Hmm.
Colon and like James
Yeah.
John, and the list goes on and on. I'm like, see, I'll do the networking for you. Like, I'll let the people
Yeah.
come to you and why you're awesome. It's like, and then he
Well,
just met everyone.
oh, dude, I'm so. It was so funny the other night. They had that Florida. They did the that contest. It culminated out here in Brevard at Beachside Retro. I think it was Orlando wound up versing West Palm,
Mhm.
and I know large part of the Orlando guys, but Ken Miller was there. I've came across Ken Miller, but like I don't know him well, and it was all them. Like I know Jari well. Like we're all cool, you know. But we went to the bar next door and we're having a drink, and Patrick Sisk is like, "Get the fuck over here, dude." He's like, "Sit at this table with these guys." He's like, "These are Orlando comedic royalty," I'm so weird about not being weird that I end up becoming weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if I so I didn't want to be awkward and weird and belly up at a table I don't belong at. So I end up standing off the side looking awkward and weird for not bellying up at a table of guys that just be normal. But
Yeah.
that's just fucking me. It's all right.
I have
Fucking
that side too, so it's like I
yeah,
totally get it.
yeah. I don't ever want to be douchey, dude. So I end up coming off douchey, not being douchey. The fucking irony, you know.
But did you end up going to the table and
Yeah, I
cutting it
sat
up?
there like a fucking awkwardly. you know, you, fuck. Hey, we're comedians. We live in our heads, right? You know,
Yeah.
fucking. I think that's why a lot of comedians are sensitive. Like you have to be somewhat of a empath and an introvert to feel and get perspectives and articulate those. You know what I mean? That's I think why some of us are comedians. You know, and I'm not saying I'm a good comedian, but yeah, I live in my head and I overthink every fucking thing.
Indeed. Oh man, Ken's one of the best. Like once you get to know him, it's like I interviewed
Super,
him,
yeah.
and like I was on the verge of quitting like comedy for like the 10th time or whatever, and I was just on Tom and Dan like the earlier that morning, and to like plug in like the other bar. I was gonna practice run my one man show there, and like it packed out. I didn't know the power of radio, and so it was just completely packed out. And I'm like,
Uh,
can you watch my 5 minute set? And he
yeah,
goes, yeah. And then he goes, if you quit comedy, you're a fool. Like you
that's
get it.
awesome.
And
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, fine, I'll stick to comedy. So
yeah.
he would like help me get in, like stay into comedy. There were times where you just want to quit comedy, but like
Mhm.
something always pulls you back in, and he was one of them. So
Yeah, somebody the other day was bumming about a set of theirs, and I was like, dude, enjoy that, and because you gotta. That's why they call things growing pains, man. Like that's where growth comes from is the pain. You know, like we've all had them sets where like, what the fuck, you
yeah,
know. But that's if you don't look at that and grow from it, then yeah, maybe this isn't for you. But if you're honestly assessing and looking at that, then yeah, fuck yeah, this is for you. You know, that's my opinion.
for sure. It hurts, but it's those are where
Yeah.
the best stories come from, though. So
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, for the best stories come from. But it's what makes it fun, dude. Like Julian McNeil, one of my close friends out here, love him to death. He started putting this show together at Bug Nutties up in Cocoa Village, and it was one of them weird nights where it's an unpaid show for the crowd, and it's in a big industrial brewery bar. Staff's awesome, venue's awesome, everything's cool, but it can be kind of trebly due to the concrete commercial structure and the way the audio is. Man, as a music guy, it leads to the audio being trebly, and the crowd, they're not, if it's an unpaid crowd, they're not necessarily fully vested in the show. And I got up there, dude, and it was one of those. I was like, dude, I'm gonna flip this fucking crowd, dude. I just knew it. I was like, I'm gonna flip this room. This is where the show gets better. And I'm not, you know me, Sareth. I don't get cocky like that, dude. But in my heart, I'm like, dude, all right, Eric, you're gonna flip the room. This is where it turns. I went up there, dude. I got up on that stage, and to me, like, comedy's a lot like hang gliding. You jump off that fucking cliff, and you're not getting like laughter, energy, air back from the crowd. You don't got shit to soar on, dude. I jumped off that fucking stage and went, I got nothing. My fucking set went straight to the ground. So bad. I mean, I ate shit, dude. I ate shit on a paid set, like fucking my good material. So bad that Daniel Mathis had to follow me. And, you know, Daniel and I are a little different, you know, and she's sweet and pretty clean. And I looked at Danielle and I was like, they fucking hated me. They're going to love you. Like, and I felt so bad. I'm like, I just dug such a hole that you fucking might not be able to climb out of that shit sandwich I just fucking left up there. Fortunately, it was a overall, it was just a fucking weird night. Oh God, there's a first time I met her. She's female comic, short hair, maybe Lauren something from the west coast of Florida. She kills, and I'm can't Defoe.
Lauren Defoe.
I think so. Yeah, sweetheart murder, bro. They weren't picking up on like so the crowd had killer comics. They just didn't know how to act, you know. So that was one of those like you hate to see anyone not do well, but you're like, all right, cool, it wasn't just me. You know, but yeah, when you like, she was killing. She's hilarious, but it just the crowd didn't know what to do with it. I don't know how I got on that, but yeah, you gotta have energy to fucking soar into. You know,
big time. I'm very low energy, but I just let people hang on to the words and like paint pictures in their heads. It's just fun.
Yeah. No, you crack me up, man. Yeah, I do because you were in this when you've been doing it forever, but you were one of the first guys I met in the comedy scene, and you know what, man, you probably set some of the vibe. Like you've always been positive and welcoming, you know, like you've always been a good dude. And those are the people I remember, and that's what I try to be because I appreciate it when it was given to me, you know. Holy shit, big old coconuts just fell.
Oh, I thought it was like a rattlesnake or something.
No, bro, dude, you would have seen me cry and scream like a bitch, dude. Dude, I do not fuck with snakes, man. That is my kryptonite. That is my fucking kryptonite, man. God damn.
I appreciate you for opening your doors and, you know, and your heart to us. It's just so awesome. Like I'm 11 years in and I should be jaded by now, but only some people that I'm jaded towards, but like only a few. But like for everyone else, I totally love. So
yeah, same, bro. Yeah, negative energy just hurts, man. Fucking every time I blow up, and get pissed off, I end up just imploding. You know what I mean? And I always end up just hurting myself. So that's one of the things all these years have taught me. Granted, I still blow the fuck up all the time, but I'm always the one that gets hurt.
Yeah.
In the process, you know. So I try not to. Watch, I'm gonna blow the fuck up here in 2 minutes as soon as I get off this thing.
That's good.
That's just I promise.
We will be done soon, I promise. And so, what's your favorite joke a comic has written?
I don't. That's such a. I don't know, man. There's so many. Like you'd almost have to name somebody like in our scene. Like, you know, I don't want to out their material, but they're each. I've seen all of y'all so many times. You know, I could do a bit from all y'all. Oh, you know what? Here's one for you. I'll do this because Julian's a good friend of mine. He had a piece the other day. Julian's got big, thick glasses, and he's got this new bit. How this lady told him he looks like he's behind bulletproof glass. Dude, and I don't know if you know Julian, but how well you know him, but just the way he talks and how he gets pissed, like he's like, man, y'all, man, this fucking glass, man, these glasses are so thick, man. The other day, this fucking lady told me I looked like I was behind bulletproof glass. Dude, the bit was real and it really happened to him, and the way he was pissed off and articulated it, like some bullshit. But so to me, it's more funny. I think the funniest is knowing him and seeing him just pissed off.
Yeah,
you know, shit like that cracks me up. You know, fuck hell, man, C. Dillard and his whole thing he had going for a minute about the manatee pussy, or hell, fucking the duck joke he has, the rape whistle with the ducks. So there's so many good shit, you know. Fucking Preston Canavan and the dick suck tree, and yeah, dude, Austin Cleveland the other night was just fucking murdering on his new taking Vyvanse or Adderall and outliving Jesus. I mean, all this crazy shit. That's why I love the comedians, man. I just say crazy shit. It's funny, dude.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Oh man, that's so awesome. I love all those dudes. They're just
yeah,
good folks.
yeah, and then
And
picking their brain, you know, like it's cool. Like
yeah,
Sean Patrick Murphy was saying, he doesn't go up with any real set. He just sees where it goes, and then you got other guys who go up 100% linear, knowing what they're doing, and it's just so neat to watch, you know, because everybody's personality and comes through in it, you know.
for sure. Like Sean
Yeah.
Patrick Murphy, like he keeps on roasting me on stage when we're at the Nogue together, and
Yeah.
like every Wednesday, like tonight, and he said that I had dolphin teeth. Like one time.
Jesus. Oh
And
God,
so
dude.
what I did was I turned that into like my sea troll dolphin teeth joke, and I'm like, all right, you just keep roasting me. I'm going to turn this all into material. So
Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny, dude.
yeah,
God, they cracked me the fuck up, man. Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
him.
yeah, there's so many of you guys that make me want to quit. I'm like, God damn, there's so many layers to good people in our Central Florida scene, you know. It's like,
Yep.
damn, dude. But that's the cool part. Like, for me, when I see that, I want to keep leveling up. You know, everybody sets the bar, dude. And then when you got someone that's newer than you raising their bar, you're like, oh shit, you better fucking start jumping higher. You know, like
Yeah.
that's what I like about it. You know, like let's take this for real. You know, and that's why sometimes I get bummed at some of the newer comics or comic, I don't know, newer, but comics that come out and they get stoned out of their minds and they're at every show and it's like, dude, stop, bro. Like, fucking be serious, write jokes. Like, this ain't just a stony baloney hangout. And maybe it is for them, but like, that's not who I'm appreciating. You know, I'm appreciating the guys that, and the guy, hell, be stony baloney, but write, be funny, say some funny
Yeah.
shit, give a fuck, you know, care.
Indeed.
You
I've been stone cold sober within this entire stand-up journey, so it's like, and all those sick and twisted things that come out of my mouth, they're just
yeah,
straight up
yeah.
sober. It's
I can't
yeah.
smoke because the fire department. You know, I have some beers, but yeah, I can't smoke because the FD. But yeah, I don't know, man. Some guys like, yeah, you know, you got them in your scene. They just come out and get up there retarded. None of it's funny. Like, what are you doing, dude? You could have stayed home. Like,
Pretty much. It's
yeah,
like this is a grind out here, homie. Like respect our time. It's like yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be elite. I don't know. Maybe I take it real, so I want others to take it real. You know.
Yeah.
And I think I just want for people, like, I want them to grow, especially if you're coming out each week. And I don't know whether you got kids, a dog, a cat, a wife. You've left your house for the night to be here. Like, fucking do it. Let's do this. I want them to grow, especially the young guys that are way younger than me. You know, like, that have potential. Like, dude, this is your oyster. You could do this. You know.
Hell yeah. Big time, dude. And what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
For me, I don't know, man. That guy says some crazy shit. He's a nice, but he's quirky. He says some crazy shit, but he meant well. You know, it was all jokes. It wasn't offensive. You know, it was just a fucking joke. He meant, yeah. And I like to think, I honestly like to think that of myself, that's the vibe they get. They're like, oh man, this guy came out and had fun. He said some crazy shit about whatever, but it was a joke, and they pick up that it's a joke, and that my intent is not to hurt. You know.
Big time.
Yeah, there's like, I don't even, like, there's words we don't say as comics, obviously. Like, I don't say the N word. I don't like to say, you know, the F word, you know, the homosexual. And another word I don't like to say is fat. Like, I've seen it hurt people's feelings. I don't like someone feeling hurt in my show. I got some crazy political bits, but to me, that's hurting your intellect more than I don't want to hurt your person. I don't want you to be like, oh man, I could lose some weight, or oh man, eating 8 chicken tenders right now, and I just don't. I don't know. I don't want to hurt fucking people when they come out and have a good time for the night. So I never want to attack anybody aesthetically, physically, or their credences to which they live by, per se. And I may be fucking that all up. Watch tonight, you're gonna see me say some crazy shit, or next week see me say some crazy shit that hurts everybody's feelings. But it's my goal not to. That's what I want people to take away from it. Like, he's here to have fun, and this is fun. He's not trying to shit on me.
Well, I'll be sure to come see you tonight at the world's most famous, and they're good folks across the street. Like the owner, actually, like no one showed up for the last show because the Dolphins game was on. It was a school night and a work night, and so like we just canceled the show altogether. But we made like a fashion show out of it, and like the owner comes from world's most famous, and he comes over and he goes, "Here's $20 for like everyone," and I'm like, and I try to give it to everyone, but we all decide to like buy a pizza instead, and so we all shared a pizza, and we just had like a cool hang afterwards. It was like me, Josh Silvers, and Minnie Font. We just like
awesome.
We were just making fun of like Forrest Whitaker and how his brother's name is Woods Whitaker, and we were just having fun. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, dude, the hang, man. I love the hang.
Big time. And so this is the third act, which is Society of Stand-Up Comics, and which is a secret society of comedians, and you got to be involved. With that being said, which 5 comics in Brevard would you like to see on a future episode of Stand-Up Speakeasy?
So you glitched out for a moment there. What was the intro? What was the intro statement? Sorry.
Oh, it's like a secret society, like the Stand-Up Speakeasy is a secret society of stand-up comics. So you got to be invited in to be a part of the show. So like a voucher, if you will, or a pass. So with that being said, Erica, which 5 comics out of Brevard would you like to see on a future episode of the Stand-Up Speakeasy? It could be Central Florida too, because you have a wide network.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Milligan's a good friend. I like Brian. Brian's got cool perspectives. Selena Ubias, she's one of my favorite local female comedians. She's funny. She's a sweetheart too, and she's very personable, and got very unique perspectives. She's even got a podcast that's on. She just started on YouTube. Oh gosh, it's eluding me what it is. I was just watching it too. So her, Miss Brian, Mac Liddon's chill. He's one of our dudes. I don't know Austin Kleeman well. He cracks me up. Preston, Sean Madden. I would say those are 3 outside of our scene that I like a lot. That was Joe Santabella. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hate naming names, man, because there's so many. I never. This goes back to me not liking to hurt, not wanting to hurt people. I never want to forget someone that I value highly. And then be like, man, that motherfucker didn't say my name. It's like, well, damn it, dude. He's retarded and he's got ADD and he forgets everything. But yeah, no, I value a lot of people.
Absolutely, for sure. Again, and also, what are some of your dates coming up?
Oh God, man. See here, I'm out there tonight in Daytona. Tomorrow I got Blind Lion. Saturday I'll be at Cinematique out in Daytona. Tuesday back at Moon Room. I feel like there was something Wednesday. I literally got to look at my calendar. I'm so bad, but we do have I'm not on the show. I'm just producing it. Saturday, October 6th. It's either 5th or 6th, but it's that Saturday in October. We got Vince Taylor coming out to Moon Room for a paid show, so that's something I'm excited about. The production side, I like the production side too because it gives me ability to put on a good show and give chances to some of our guys to put them up, on stuff with
for sure
other comedians.
They have you on Sareth Fest too, and the first week of October as well. So
yes, Sareth Fest. How dare I forget the guy's show that I'm on doing the interview for? Such a dirtbag.
It's all good, dude. And speaking of, I gotta. Do you have any shout outs that you'd like to give out?
No, I'm sensitive. Shout out to anybody I shouted out, and shout out to anybody I forgot.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to
For
my
me, I
wife
have
Melissa and daughter Harlan. Without them, I couldn't do all this shit.
for sure. You got a great.
I like to think they're supportive, but they're probably like, "Nah, get the fuck out of here, bro. Go do something."
Well, I think they are. I mean, your wife's
All
always
right.
there, like with the moon room and helping out. So it's pretty awesome. She's on the
Yeah,
journey with you.
two big shout outs. I would say everybody at the Moon Room, the staff there, love them to death. And then the big one, Chris Kearns from Beachside Retro, man. Chris Kearns is such a behind the scene guy and instrumental in the Brevard comedy scene. He gives us a place to do open mic. He lets us do our monthly show. He let them do the battle show. Like Chris is a guy who's there for all of us behind the scenes. So shout out to Chris Kearns at Beachside Retro for making the Brevard comedy scene awesome. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that dude too. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And let's see here. It's for me. Fest is my next coming dates is October 2nd to the 5th. Punk Rock Pizza at 8 o'clock shows the 3rd and 4th, and then Chernog Irish Pub October 2nd to the 5th. We got some early and late shows there. All free to get in. Just buy stuff from the bars and buy stuff from the comics if they have them. That's all I ask for. So.
Oh yeah.
Good
awesome,
stuff.
my man. Well, dude, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna load up these surfboards, pick my daughter up, and get a surf in before I head up to Daytona.
Hell yeah, dude. Drive safe,
Awesome.
have fun, and can't wait to see you tonight, dude.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Appreciate you, brother. Be good.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Later, Eric. Awesome. And special thanks to Chernog Irish Pub, K Nails and Spa, Kwan's Kitchen, Punk Rock Pizza. We'll see you soon. Thanks for having us. See you on the next episode.